All right, welcome back to Urban Backpacker, and I think everybody is asking for my opinion on MMA stuff. Not really, but I'm gonna give it. So, what happened was what was supposed to happen. You know, MMA tends to correct itself, and what happened was you have like a whole you got different groups of fanatics in MMA, and you had this group of people that was like hardcore against John Jones, while knowing details of his story and background to all those cases. Even though, if you are a fan in general, you already know what been said about John Jones, his cases to begin with. But you hold some type of hatred and grudge that's probably built into racist tendencies and everything against the guy. And it's just one of those things to where fans have that right to just hit a guy just for his name and just being his color. So basically, you have him being a person that is a great athlete, coming from a great athletic family, dealing with, you know, all kinds of adversity. He rises as a mixed martial artist, and his brothers are athletes in the football realm. So this guy been through a crazy list of hardcore martial artists, and then latter of his career he ran into hardcore mixed martial artists. And so you have to give the guy like credit and respect for just going through all these people. And there's testing for those things. The issue is, so everybody know what coke is. No secret what coke is. Coke comes into a powder state and a paste state. Coke could be liquid. In the liquid form, it's many steps away from the powder form. But in the paste form, y'all know what they use the paste form for. Altitude sickness. So in certain countries like Bolivia and Ecuador, the paste itself is legal because they use it for altitude sickness. Mostly tourists that are given that when they're coming in and dealing with the amount of pressure and not being able to breathe for a while. So when it comes to coke as an athletic enhancement, it's just not there for that. And the other issue is coke do not stay in the body that long for you to be basically caught with it. So that's the bigger problem. So when you are assuming that the athlete is coked up, and it could be, but guess what? That coke is in the body and out the body. Period. Blood wise, similar. It just don't stay in the body that long. So the issue is, when they're cutting it, you have the ability to trace it then. So there was a cut product of creatine or some type of protein that was being made out of the country. So these labs are leased out to everybody, pharmaceutical and supplement companies. And so the same people that lease and rent can also give it to the highest bidder for whatever they want with the facilities. So most likely, a cartel used the facility, didn't clean that well behind it, and then a supplement company came in and used it, and then I cleaned that well before. And basically, you have residue of the stuff within tainted proteins and supplements from this company. And so what happened was USADA found that out about wherever different athletes were taking. So you had that problem, and this is what we know from, expert opinion about that John Jones situation. So the other question is, okay, you don't like John and you don't like the coke thing, you don't believe the coke thing, just maybe he's taking tainted products of drugs just because they have coke in it, and just because he can afford it, and just because it's fun to do stupid stuff like that, and to troll the MMA community. Why would he do that? Nobody would do that. So he's probably just taking supplements that he thought was legitimate, and they made him feel great, and he used it. And basically, they said that he'd been, caught taking drugs, and they got into the backstory and the behind the scene with the companies and the drug products. And it's been like other athletes that had the same problem with supplements and other eating products that have been tainted. And basically that had to be investigated. And so you had a investigation in that, and then you have the story about them saying that John Jones hid under. Hey, if he did that, y'all reported and y'all came out with a story, and now we know that he did that. But guess what? He also said that he did drugs. So at the same time, it wasn't like, okay, this is something that we hold him against. A lot of athletes are caught. So the issue is, they do their time, they do whatever they need to rehab, and then they come back. So he been in the testing pool, he haven't been caught again. Not just that, during the same time period, you got to remember, a lot of his opponents that he was fighting was eating heavily juiced cattle and taking TRT. Remember that. So this backlash against John Jones is just because, I think, from my point of view, he's a gifted athlete and he's a crafty athlete. He's very smart, his IQ is high. But he's using the rules and everything to his advantage. And so I think everybody hates that about John Jones, because everybody knows when you fight John Jones, you're going to get eye poked, no matter what. You're going to get eye poked and growing kicked. So that's just the way he fights. That's his style. That is a part of his fight style. If you're not expecting those things to happen, it's going to happen. So I think some people just hate that. And you as a fighter, you got to know that's going to happen. And Alex proved that he don't mind any of that stuff. He's been through a lot of strikers that do different things to throw you off and to make you, uncomfortable. That's just the whole fight game. And when you had as many fights as him, you don't really care. You get kicked in the nuts all the time in practice. Your pee should just stay red all the time after a while, and you're comfortable with that. So the issue is, you have this great white hype, this golden boy, that who knows, I don't know how they started to promote this guy and start to push this guy. But Tom, he's your average British fighter. He quick. Is he a good wrestler? Not the best wrestler that you ever seen in the UFC at heavyweight, but he's a talented, fast guy for a big size. The issue is they want to see him uh, be the golden boy of the UFC, take on the dirty legend, which is John Jones, to say, hey man, he deserved this fate. And everybody forget that Tom is still a newbie, and he still has to build up his fan base. The UFC still have to promote him properly. So the issue is he's not flashy, and he's just a grinder that sometimes get lucky and knocks people out, and that's good. And he should be able to knock out people when you're that fast and that heavy. If not, you're gonna have some problem against Gon, because Gon, he's a little bit everything. I'm very sure he's been working on his grappling and wrestling as well, and it's been a while. So y'all have to be like really careful who y'all are, looking into for targeted promoting against certain people. That's why when everybody would say, "Oh, Alex against John Jones," we don't want that. But Alex, he's gifted with a skill set to deal with people, period. Just like John Jones used to be. These are perfect for each other because they are gifted with that mindset, that skill set to say, hey, you have this dominant wrestler that want to try to strike with me. No way. You got this dominant grappler that's going to try to grapple with me. No way. You have to have that skill set of that one dimension leading you into combat, and then you switched it. And so John have that. Daniel Cormier is like, yeah, John punches, they hit you, but they don't hurt. The issue is you see them. With his reach, you see them coming. So you see the punches, but you don't see the elbows or the knees. And those are the things that tend to, clip people when your eyes are not able to react to the movement of certain body parts, and you get touched, and you're like, oh shit, your body starts to react in a delayed mode because you got hit, you wasn't expecting it, you saw one punch, and that wasn't the punch that hit that body part, and so it's a delay. And by that time, you already got hit by so many elbows and punches on the ground, you're done. So the UFC and the MMA community are most likely going to get a Alex versus John Jones fight. The issue is it might not be the White House event. It might just still be like a card, maybe at the end of the year, maybe. If Dana White is good about giving out a good size payment for the Christmas show, like I don't know if they have a Christmas show or December show. They could do it at the end of this year. They could do it at the beginning of next year. They could do it next year before the White House to make the most bang for the buck, because the people and the interest will still be there. The people and the interest for this Tom fight versus John Jones won't be there. That's why they can't say they're gonna make it a White House fight. It's stupid. Like John is not interested in this fight because he knows he's gonna just eye poke the guy as soon as he try to dive for his leg. But he's gonna do. No way you're gonna just stand there and get kneed. You're a wrestler. Guess what you gotta do? You're gonna have to run in, and by that time he's gonna hit you with an elbow. He's gonna hit you with a knee. He's very good with distance. Like he throws punches. The issue is he's not a knockout artist with his punches, but the knees and the elbows, like you don't see them coming. So that's the whole argument with John Jones. Tom, we don't have nothing for him or about him. He's just gonna try to survive. Survive, and he says he's not gonna probably wrestle, but they all do. You are gifted at a certain style of martial art. You should keep that and do it as a base and as a backup. You shouldn't like get goaded into fighting a style that you're not comfortable with. Even if you do have knockout power and speed, it's only gonna last for so much of that fight before IQ and skill set, rein in. So if this guy is not careful about studying John Jones and like it's saying, hey, maybe I'll find training partners, and you could do that. You could find a lot of training partners. You could find people that follow him and train with them. And I don't think he's doing that at all. I think he's just being limited with his practice. And John, on the other hand, like they'll that Jackson camp, they get into a lot of stuff that nobody would do for MMA fights. Like they'll get the biggest athletes that they could find and get them in there to just wrestle and tackle or roll around with different sparring partners to get them ready for John Jones and to get whatever amount of experience, movement from those people. So it's not an issue of size and speed. There's a lot of people that are bigger than Tom that could move faster, way faster than Tom. The issue is, are there lengthy people that are carrying the amount of weight that John Jones has with the IQ and the skill set that John Jones has? And there's not a lot of those people. The only person that come close, you probably get like a Tyrone Spawn, but he's not an eye poker. You get who else? It's not really that many people with like a long reach and the ability to use elbows and knees. Tyrone Spawn is basically a kickboxer, a very good kickboxer, and you just use him for his skill set and his explosiveness within a certain range to imitate maybe a kick from close distance and a knee, but you don't do too many elbows or anything. You do do a lot of spinning techniques, and those spinning techniques tend to help you with John Jones and other people that do spinning techniques, but it's not the same skill set of John Jones and that camp that they have behind him. So you might have to find a dirty person, like no offense, Overring, but Overring would be perfect. Other than that, yeah, good luck with whatever y'all trying to say y'all want to do with John Jones. Like once John Jones get in there, he's gonna do his crouch. He's gonna, monkey walk around the cage, the area. He's gonna set up shop. He's gonna, oblique kick you. He's gonna kick in your gut with the front kick, and you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take him down, or you're gonna be like, I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna do this. No, you're gonna try to get your range, and by that time it's already too late. He's gonna eye poke you, and then he's gonna kick in your groin, and then he's gonna spinning elbow attack you. Then he's gonna knee you to the gut. And it's already over. You're gonna get elbow again. You're gonna probably get kicked in the nuts again, or get eye poked again. So everybody already know that is gonna be a high possibility of happening with Tom. But Alex is being trained by a lot of Brazilian people that have tons of experience with like dirty fighting and people getting poked in the eye and stuff like that. So he's definitely gonna be kicked in the nuts, hit in the eye, poked in the eye, as many times as possible. And the whole thing is, he's gonna be able to take those strikes, those straight punches, to just say, hey, I want to take those punches, just so that my one punch, and it could be just a 3-punch combination to where he gets to the chin of John Jones, because we've seen John Jones get hit in the chin and not do too well. So I'm just saying he has problems with power punchers that are like very good strikers that could say, hey, you keep me in the rowing as much as you want, you poke me in the eye, I still can see you. So the Alex fight too, a lot of people sounds way better than the Tom fight. Like Tom, you have to fight 0-0. He's a very good, underrated UFC fighter. Like they are really dropping the ball on this guy, because this guy, he's a very good, legitimate kickboxer. Like, and his spinning techniques are like very hard to just catch and understand. So Gon and Tom is a good fight to have, period. Like, the UFC just gotta promote it better. And if they don't promote it better, you're gonna have like this stupid group of people that are like John Jones haters that are gonna be like, hey, we want to see John Jones get beat up. Well, if you want to see John Jones get beat up, you ask for the Alex Pereira fight, because it makes sense, Skill set versus skill set. Tom, he'll eventually get that way because of all the fights that he had against other types of veterans, but legendary veterans, Tom is not ready for that. Hey, guess what? If he beat Gon, guess what? Who he should fight next? Derrick Lewis. Guess what? Derrick Lewis is another good. Like Tom, he likes taking people down. Good and fine. He like wrestling. Hey, you try to wrestle with Derrick Lewis. Y'all remember all those fighters that are wrestlers, strikers that Derrick Lewis humbled with one chop, and they was just trying to wrestle him all the fight, and there was like, fine, we'll just let them do their thing, and every fight starts standing, and once the bell ring, you're gonna do one thing, you're gonna shoot, and he's gonna just hit you, and once he hit you or catch you with something, he's gonna just ground and pound you. So it's one of those things to where reality has to hit the UFC and the fan base about certain fighting techniques and styles and fighters. And the matchmakers, they know that. They know that for a fact. So that's why they're like, well, they're giving John all the options and all the cards, and Tom nothing, because Tom, he's still very fairly new. And if he wins that belt, well, he has the belt. The issue is they can't promote him stateside. They can promote him maybe in different places in Europe, but stateside, that'll be a hard task and a hard thing to do, because everybody be like, we don't like British people, And who you gonna put? Like a Russian fighter or somebody else that's no name against Tom to fight? So that's why they have to do Gon and who else? There's a possibility of doing this other person. Can't even. I want to say Curtis Blade, but Curtis, he got smoked. He got smoked. I want to say Armenia is the guy name. He's another heavyweight contender, Armenia. Another Brazilian guy. I think that's his name, last name or first name. I don't know. But Tom, he still has fights to do before he's able to call out somebody, and not just that, but what if Stipe want to come back? So I think no matter what, it's gonna be Conor versus maybe Topuria. And they probably do it at whatever weight Conor is comfortable with, maybe 170. And it won't be like for a belt or anything. It'll just be for that fight bragging rights and the most money of all time. And the winner of that fight will probably get the title shot for the welterweight belt. And you know how those two want to be people that have the most belt from every division. So, and they similar with a lot of stuff. So I think Dana is gonna be like, okay, these two guys, 170 main event, they'll do a lot of other fights that are guaranteed to be there and noteworthy for the prelims and for the main card, and be done with it. And save the John Jones fight either for before or after, And I know John Jones is probably like, no, there's no way we're gonna mix this White House. But there's a number, like everybody got their number, and if the companies say, hey, we're gonna overwrite Dana White amount, he says that amount, he's gonna give you, we'll double that amount and give you this amount for the fight, either to happen before or after. And y'all gonna take that fight. We're gonna all take that Alex fight no matter what. Alex probably don't even want the money. He has probably a lot of sponsorships right now and a lot of people taking care of him to where he don't need the money anymore. He just wants the legendary legacy fights that everybody tends to pursue after a while once they're in there with like so many killers, so many people that already killed legends and been killed as a legend. So that's all Alex is interested in. But Alex will probably do the same thing to Tom. Like, Tom is gonna be fast, probably faster than Alex, but that wouldn't matter. You still gotta start the fight standing up, and the moment Tom say, "Hey, I want to strike with you," it's gonna be slow motion versus high speed. One shot punches versus multiple one shot punches. Like, so y'all gonna say that Alex is not gonna be willing to stand and bang with Tom? And of course he's gonna be there, but he's not gonna take as many punches because he's gonna be like, hey, once I get in the range, I'm pretty sure his reach is longer than Tom. Once he get into range, he's gonna be able to kick him and punch him. Because Alex is notorious for just standing there, but in a heavyweight fight, like I'm pretty sure he's gonna understand, hey, I'm not that big, and I'm not that fast with movement, but my punches are heavy and faster than Tom. And I think we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that, period. Especially when there's a title belt on the line. So I think a lot of fights are going to be able to be made before and after the White House event next year. And I'm pretty sure the UFC have like tons of contingency plans for everything. So that was probably one of the reasons why Conor had to not run for prime minister or president, because it's not going to be allowed. You know, you can only do so much statesmanship and sportsmanship. And we already know that Conor gets burned out from doing a stupid press conference. Well, he used to. That was one of the reasons why he retired the first time, because the circuit the UFC made him do was like pointless, because he was like, my social media is bigger than their platform, so why would I do podcasts and network answering the same questions to where I could be, you know, sparring or doing something to rest my body or heal my body. But instead, I'm on a circuit campaign for a fight that everybody's going to watch no matter what. And that's true. UFC was back then and now sucking at promoting fights. But you have a rabid fan base that tend to promote and helps for casuals to fall into place when certain fights happen. So you're gonna have a casual following no matter what. So the UFC probably say, hey, we want Conor to be free of everything when he comes. You can't be a politician fighting, you know, that's not, proper. In Western society, maybe hundreds and hundreds of years ago, when everybody had slaves and politicians were able to do them walkaway duels with the pistols and everything, that was a thing. But now it's like they can't do that. They gotta be, scholars and X something, and mostly gentlemen, and a politician for the little people versus big corporations and everything. And Conor, he's a little bit in between those conflict of interest with lawsuits, being a billionaire, being marketed and promoted by big companies and corporations, dealing with big companies and corporations, being friends with billionaires and other people with a lot of money and questions around them. So you just can't easily become both at the same time. You gotta become one public enemy at a time, and he is still a public enemy. Like, some people in his home country don't even like him, but the irony is, the expats from Ireland over here, they tend to love him to death. So that's why he asked for visas and tickets and everything for so many people, because one of the biggest traveling group of tourists, student visas, working visas that are given to Ireland, and you have like a lot of them over here year round, period. So they are gonna be wherever Conor or Ian or other Irish people, when they are main eventing, they're gonna be at those stadiums. So John Jones being beaten to death by a European style heavyweight with European style wrestling is not gonna happen. Even if the guy is fast, it's not gonna happen. Tom is just gonna get eye poked, kicked in the groin. They're gonna give him warnings, and John is gonna kick him in the groin and poke him in the eye, and maybe everything is gonna be like point deducted, and he's gonna get poked in the eye, point. He'll probably get 2 points deducted to where Tom is gonna get frustrated. He's gonna do the same thing, and once he do the same thing, Jackson is like gonna be like, "Hey, John, look for this." He's doing it all the time. That's his habit. That's his weakness, and he does it, and he's getting knocked out. That's how it's gonna happen. So I look forward to all those fights. Like if the UFC